Millions.
We are all Palestinians.
In our millions, in our billions.
We are all Palestinians.
In our millions, in our billions.
We are all Palestinians.
Free, free.
Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine. Palestine will be free. Palestine. Palestine. Palestine will be free. Shame on you. Palestine. Palestine. Palestine!
Free, free.
Palestine!
Free, free.
Palestine!
Free, free.
Palestine!
Stop bombing Gaza.
Stop bombing Gaza!
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 Ceasefire now. 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 Stop bombing Gaza. Stop bombing Gaza.
Stop bombing Gaza!
Stop bombing Gaza.
Stop bombing Gaza!
Stop bombing Gaza.
Stop bombing Gaza!
In our thousands, in our millions.
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands, in our millions.
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands, in our millions.
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands, in our millions.
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands, in our millions.
We are all Palestinians!
1, 2, 3, 4,
Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more!
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 BBC.
Shame on you!
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 Rishi Sunak.
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 Shame on you!
Keir Starmer.
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 Shame on you!
Thank you, South Africa.
Thank you, South Africa!
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 One, two, three, four.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terror state.
Give yourselves a big round of applause for being here. It's a demonstration that takes place on the day after Benjamin Netanyahu shamefully announced a ground assault on Rafah, signalling a new round in the ethnic cleansing, the barbarous invasion of the Gaza Strip. Once again, the question is raised. Why are there not screams of outrage from the politicians, from the media, from the government, or even for what passes for an opposition in this country? Why, in the face of another phase of organised systematic slaughter, is there not uproar from the establishment and the elites in this country? Their hypocrisy screams out at you. These are the people who talk about spreading democracy. These are the people who talk about a rules-based international system. They talk about defending Western values. They talk about democratic norms. And yet they say they are absolutely silent in the face of this unspeakable slaughter. And I say shame on them, shame on them, shame on them. But the hard reality is that this is more than hypocrisy. This is really about a strategy. It's not just moral blindness, it's not just a lack of humanity, although it is those things. It is not about fundamentally an Israel lobby. The hard truth is that our elites, the Western powers, the British government, the US government, actually support Israel economically, politically, diplomatically and militarily. The harsh truth is that the Israeli government would not be able to carry out any of its aggressions, any of its assaults, if it wasn't for the support of the US government and the British government. The harsh truth is that though they say it's unconnected, the reason the British and American governments are at this minute bombing Yemeni people is because they are militarily engaged in defending the project of the Israeli state carrying out genocide against the Palestinians. This is collusion. This is more than silence. This is participation. This is involvement. Our government is guilty of genocide alongside the Israeli government. And that's why our movement is so important. That's why the resistance is so important. Don't let anyone tell you that this magnificent movement, these marches, these protests don't make a difference. They do make a difference. We have already defied a series of bans. We have already removed the most toxic Home Secretary this country has had for generations. We have already caused turmoil in the Labour Party, a public debate on Palestine in the Labour Party after years and years of being pushed onto the defensive on that issue. The ruling of the International Criminal Justice Court the ruling of the court has helped to isolate the Israeli people on the world stage. But I tell you, that case would never have been brought if it hadn't been for the global protests taking place in this country and around the world. And that's why it's so crucial that we continue our mobilisations. And that's why it's so crucial that we continue our demonstrations and our protests. This week, the movement stepped up a gear. This week, our movement escalated. There were protests and rallies in workplaces up and down the country, and more trade union branches and actually more and more national unions are coming on board with the movement. And it is crucial that we widen and broaden the movement in that way. Now, we must turn next Saturday's demonstration in London into another huge display of outrage. We must bring London to a standstill one more time this Saturday the 17th of February. Make sure you're there in London. And let's not hear it from the police force that try and say that our demonstrations are hate marches, that we are involved in disorder, that we can't march to the centre of town because we'll cause trouble. We will hear no lectures from the Metropolitan Police or any other police force, because we don't have thousands of officers facing suspension for sexual harassment, for racism and various other forms of harassment. We will take no lectures from them or anyone else who tries to say that we are criminals or that we are likely to cause problems. Our demonstrations are peaceful, and that's because our demonstrations are in the cause of peace, are in the cause of justice. We will not listen to these people because they are morally and politically bankrupt. We will not listen to them, and we will certainly not be silenced by them. We have the majority on our side, and if we keep fighting, we will win. See you in London next Saturday! Thank you very much.
Wrong in your support of Israel, wrong in your support of denying food and water, wrong not to support the end of the sea and call for a ceasefire. It's up to us as the people of the United Kingdom to make them listen. And if it takes week after week after week to put people on the streets to say not in our name, then we must do it. We must do it. And for the Bakers Union, I'd like to say this, because I do know, I am aware that when we march, these messages of hope go to the people of Palestine. And as a baker, I want to say to all of those bakers that kept baking while the bomb dropping, you were heroes. You are heroes. You kept your nation fed. And we should never forget all of those medical staff. All of those medical staff that tried to do the best they can in the conditions they were faced. The journalists who have been murdered for bringing us the truth of what's going on in Palestine that they don't want us to know. To those teachers who are looking after those children that no longer have parents. To the 100,000 people that have been murdered or injured in this war. We say we stand with you and your family, and we demand peace and a ceasefire. And we've heard a lot from this stage, but it's really important because year after year, decade after decade, despite the blood that's spilling up, we keep voting for politicians who refuse to call for ceasefires, who use the war machine to boost our economy. Well, it's up to us. If we're serious, we have to be organised and we have to make demand. And I say, not just about being against war, it's also being against poverty. Poverty here, so let's make some demands. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Don't forget, we've got 2 independent candidates standing for Leicester. You must back them up. Shoka and Claudia. Shoka and Claudia, please, please back them. Okay, our next speaker is, I don't really introduce, our own Leicester's finest. Everyone knows who he is. We don't have to introduce him. Majid Freeman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Last night, I was thinking, what shall I speak about today? So many thoughts, so many things have already been said. What is there left to be said? Every single day we wake up and we see scenes on us, on our phones, more children dying. Before I fell asleep, I seen a comment on my Instagram. Someone left a comment saying, "Come on bro, what outcome are we hoping for?" This was in response to a post of our demo today. He said, "It's the 100th March. What are we going to expect? What are we going to expect different?" But our brothers and sisters in Gaza, they see our marches and it gives them hope. And that is enough for us to come out again and again and again. Allahu Akbar. And yes, we should feel upset, rightly so. But let's not get disheartened. Let's not get disheartened to the point where we feel there's no point doing anything. Because our brothers and sisters in Gaza, they don't have connection. Many of them, they struggle to get connection on the phone. I speak to some of them. They have to sometimes go all the way to the hills to get connection, just to send messages to us, just to send us an update on what they're going through. So we have our phones, we have our connections, we have our social media platforms. We need to use our platforms to be a voice for them. Will we be a voice for them? Alhamdulillah. We need to do what we can from our side, and we need to legally exhaust all avenues. Every single legal avenue needs to be exhausted for our brothers and sisters in Gaza. Not just in Gaza, but also in the West Bank. Sharifa here was talking about Janine. We need to educate ourselves. We need to take this opportunity. It's been over 125 days now. We need to educate ourselves on what's happening in Palestine, what's the history in Palestine. If we don't educate ourselves, how can we empower ourselves and others around us? When we speak to our friends, if we don't have the knowledge, how can we speak? So will we make an effort to educate ourselves? So whether it means arranging protests, demonstrations, shutting down everything, raising awareness about boycotting Israeli products in supermarkets, or whatever shape or form it may be, we need to continue being a voice for the Palestinians. And like our brother, Dr. Asim Qureshi, mashallah, he's come all the way down from London, because Sister Yvonne, who's come all the way down from Glasgow, she drove over 6 hours just to get here, just to be with us, to share some words, so that we keep going. Alhamdulillah, we've got 5 pillars. They've come all the way down from London. They've been doing an amazing job. So there's so many different people who are trying on their own avenues, and we need to try to figure out what's our avenue. What is it? How are we going to contribute towards helping our brothers and sisters in Gaza? Is it going to be when people ask us to condemn the mass? Are we going to say no? Or are we going to fall into the trap where they ask us to condemn the resistance? No, we won't fall into the trap of condemning the resistance. The resistance has every right to defend themselves, even according to the UN. So we should educate ourselves. If we don't educate ourselves, we won't have the courage, we won't have the knowledge to say that they have the right to resist. Under international rights, they have the right to resist, and they will continue resisting. And will we support the resistance? Good please. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. If you can remember, like the first demo we had at the town hall.
Palestine will be free.
Okay, our last speaker is Leicester's MP, Claudia Webb, the only MP that has been campaigning for the Palestinians since the start of this whole genocide campaign. Who needs no introduction, Claudia Webb.
Thank you so much, and yes, my name is Claudia Webb and I'm the Member of Parliament for Leicester East, and I'm proudly standing with you today, with Leicester, with you, and standing with the Palestinian people. You are right to stand here. You are standing on the right side of history. It's appalling that we crimes. We have to keep shouting about their war crimes and shout out also the collusion of our government and our official opposition, the Labour Party. We have to shout about this as loudly. Those who support Israel's actions are hoping we'll lose heart. But we won't lose heart, will we? We must not stop until the killings have stopped and the Palestinians have justice. Never again must mean for the Palestinians too. We must be back here, week in, week out. And I promise you, as your Member of Parliament for Leicester East, I will always stand with you and be here, week in, week out. We must now all take action to register to vote. How many of you are registered to vote? We must take action to do it. To register to vote, to do it today, to do it tomorrow, and to continue registering to vote, each and every one of us. Our message is clear. We take this fight from our streets to our town halls, to Parliament, and straight to the ballot box. None of us are free until Palestine is free. So free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Thank you! Thank you!
Make sure you